Good morning, bedheads. How's it going today? So I've got the 1 star would not recommend mug out today. This has to do with what we're going to be talking about. I feel like I have the best solution to the world's problems right now. I came up with it. I mean, it's really not rocket science at all. Okay. So X, better known as Twitter, and Fox News. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. So, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Click. I hope you're well. Go grab your coffee. I'm going to take one sip. I know there is a disorder, you guys. There is a lot of people actually who have the disorder who they have such a hard time hearing that. So that's why I'm being sensitive. One more sip. And I try covering up my microphone too when I'm drinking. So, okay. We're all just, we want to be sensitive to everybody as much as we can. I know it's hard sometimes, but so let's talk about my solution. And then I do have a message from the SGs this morning because every morning since I created this, thanks to Mystic Shadows, when I saw her doing, and in fact, I just ordered one. I ordered one that has more information on it. It's a nice little circle. And so this is amazing to me when you use the pendulum. So when you use a pendulum like this came with my dowsing rods, and it's just quite old actually. It's like 8 years old. It's a little rusty. Well, I wouldn't say rusty, but it's got like the copper has changed colors. So when my SGs spell out very specific words, to me, there's just no doubt. I mean, you can't doubt that stuff. So, I mean, it blows my mind, right? So I am going to say so I'm going to tell you what that is, and you're going to want to hear what it is. And we're going to talk about my Fox News and X solution first. Because I think once I tell you what that message was, you might be like, whoa, okay. So let's talk about my solution to our world's problems right now. The world's problem meaning the misinformation, okay? So that's what I'm referring to. Misinformation and disinformation. So that really, if we really dig under what the real issue is, that's what, in my opinion, you guys can just totally disagree with me. This is just my opinion. But if we get to the bottom, the root cause is that the Republican Party over time has been feeding misinformation, basically. Okay. And it's getting worse and worse. And we can all see it. If we're paying attention, we can see where it's happening. All right. And now they're trying to suppress other press. Like I heard NPR is starting to, or was it PBS? Maybe it was NPR, kind of back down from, I think they were going to do the DEI stuff or something. But once they do that, how do you know? How do you know you can trust them? So I saw something about that. Somebody can clarify. I don't know the specifics about that. But, and I do know that there was another Associated Press, AP, Associated Press, that was kicked out of the White House Oval Office because they weren't conforming to Trump. So that's not good, right? So obviously, I mean, we all know where this is headed. It's not a secret. Well, half of us know where this is headed. Okay, so this is my solution. And I have no idea how to get this out there. I think if what we need is someone with big pockets, like Mark Cuban. If we can get this message to Mark Cuban and he actually hears it, he'd be a perfect person for this. Oprah. People with deep pockets, okay? Why aren't we? It seems to me, okay. everybody on the left who's on YouTube and talking about all the things. The Washington Post, the New York Times, if they're still trustworthy, okay? They're always talking to the same people. They're not talking to the people who actually need to hear what they're talking about. Same with, David Pakman and Midas Touch and, the folks that we tend to listen to, or even this conversation. The people who need to hear this conversation are not hearing it, right? Because they are listening to other things. And it is not their fault that they think that they're seeing the truth. They don't know that they're not. That's the problem. Okay? So the question is how do we help them see that? And don't you think all of our efforts should be focused in that area? Because once the misinformation and disinformation is gone, then we can get back, then we can actually write some laws that say, no media outlets in the United States it'll be illegal to give misinformation and disinformation. Same with journalists that say they're journalists. If you're the Onion, then you need to say you're the Onion. The Onion is a satirical newspaper. So it's going to take getting it in front of them. I mean, proof. It's going to take proof. And so the only thing I can think of is like mail coming to their house. Anyone who voted for the felon 45, anyone who voted for him, we have to get some kind of information to their house in order for them to start seeing. And it might have to be over and over again. For instance, this would be an example. Now, I don't know if using QR codes is a great idea, but there would be a flyer with 2 QRS codes. One would show what Fox News said about the Super Bowl and people applauding Trump, and that only showing that. And one would show a QR code of what actually happened. Okay. As simple as that. Like nothing else on it, just this big flyer that showed these 2 QR codes. This is what Fox News says, and this is what actually happened. Okay. So they would get these on a regular basis. All right. This is what Fox News said. This is what actually happened, and actually show them. Now with, it's going to be tricky because, are they convinced it's going to be AI generated and all this kind of stuff? So I don't think it's going to be a quick campaign to get them to see. But I think we have to get to a point where we shut these guys down. We have to shut them down. And we have to shut this down. So how we do that, I don't know. But why are we spending so much other time? Why? We're just telling each other. We're just talking to each other. Midas Touch, you're just talking to you're singing to the choir, basically, right? So we need to do something that's actually going to shift this. And that's my solution. I don't know. What do you think? So if we could basically have half of the Dems or half of us who believe that this is going on, working on getting those 3 seats voted Democratic. If we get half of us working on that and half of us working on dispelling the disinformation and helping our fellow citizens see that they are being brainwashed. They don't even know it. We're angry at them for being brainwashed. We are angry at them for being fed disinformation, but they don't know it. They don't know who owns Fox News. They don't even know who owns CNN right now. And CNN's doing the same thing. CNN's doing the same thing. Yesterday, my husband watched CNN for 2 minutes just to see what they were talking about, and they had a poll of F-45's approval rating at 51%, and I'm like, okay, maybe it is, but I don't believe it. Who's the poll from, and why is CNN publishing that? So no more CNN. We got to get in. First of all, it's going to have to start in our households, right? I've had a couple women talking about their husbands watching CNN, right? I just added CNN to my, it's going to start in the house. It's got to start in the house. So start in your house. We all have direct control over what's going on in our own household, right? And then, I don't know. It's just an idea. It just feels like we need to just get to the bottom of what the real issue is. And to me, that feels like if we just focused our energy, but again, we're talking to the same people. We're just singing to the choir. We're preaching to the choir. That's what it is, preaching to the choir. So we need to, I keep this page up right now because so many of us are in this part of the grieving process. Just as Lee Harris Energy said in February, this is where we would be, one of the places we would be. I will, anytime you guys from now on, I'm just going to keep saying it. Anytime I mention another person's channel, I will post it in the description. Okay. Because people are like, I can't find him. I'm like, we'll post it in the description of this video. Okay. So dissolving conscious anger, but it is rising. It's rising. So I keep this page open often right now for me so that anytime I mentioned last night in a reading that I did about why this is all happening. We did a oracle card reading yesterday. It was kind of cool. But I said, it's like every 15 minutes, it's like you come back to center, you calm yourself down, and then you calm yourself. It depends on how much you're exposing yourself to stuff, So obviously, if you don't want to rise your conscious anger, if you don't want it to rise every hour, then limit the amount of stuff you're exposing yourself to. But it's a challenge because it's this balance of staying aware so that we can send love and light. So when things are happening, we can send love and light, and we can also be aware and take action. Because I don't think we're allowed to just sit in meditation at this point. I don't think we're going to be allowed to do that. I think we're going to have to take action. And why not bring all the energy together in a couple solutions? Like I said, there's two things. Now, I have no idea how to create a movement, and there probably half of you won't agree with me that this is the solution to this, but which is fine. It's just my idea. And it just occurred to me this morning. So, if we had two things we're focusing on, get the three people elected Democrat in the House and the Senate. I think there's 2 in the Senate, 1 in the House. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. But there's 3 seats open, and there's special elections taking place in April. So that's only a month and a half away. Focus on that. And then we have the rest of us focusing on the disinformation. Maybe where we concentrate is the disinformation from those 3 districts, is sending out information about Fox News, about Twitter, X, and about the other ones. What is it? Newsmax. I don't know if Newsmax is one of the ones. There's another one. Whichever outlets are lying, like deliberately lying. And then they need to be held accountable. I think we, the people, need to sue them once this whole thing is over. Because it will be over. That's my idea. I like it. But I have no idea how to get that moving on a grand scale. So this is where we can pool our energy here. So if you have ideas, if you have, first of all, let's start it at home. okay? But it's not enough to just tell people you're being lied to. It's not enough. You have to show them. It's the only way. You have to show them, and they have to believe it. So I think the only way they're going to believe it is if we get it in front of them, every single time. So I guess the first place to start is at home, and then, in your neighborhood. But again, I think if we could get somebody like Mark Cuban, or who was that person? Or who is the person? What's his name? What's that person's name? His wife worked for the F40 when F was 45. And I think they separated, but his wife worked for him, and now, what's his name? He's been on the Bulwark. He put out commercials. He's got quite a bit of money, I think. He put out commercials on Fox News during the election against Trump, which was amazing. He's another person. Anyways, if anyone knows who he is, but he would be another person. Like he would, we need somebody to fund this effort. I mean, we need like a graphic designer. We need someone who pays attention to Fox News to tell us when the false information, and then a group of people to decide what is the best information to get out in front of people. And then we just need to mail them to their houses. So anyways, I make it sound simple, but it seems pretty simple to me. But let me know what you guys think. What is the bottom line of how we're gonna resolve this issue? Because I think that's the thing that makes me the most mad, is when I hear them blatantly lying, which is pretty much all the time. Blatantly lying. That's the thing that really gets my goat. Really gets my conscious anger just. So, because it is so unjust. It is so unjust. And they don't know it. The only thing that I get challenged by is like my biological dad, who, after the Dominion thing, after 2020, and Dominion got sued, and Fox News had to admit that they lied. And he was like, yeah, I'm done with Fox News. Like, he said that to me. But then he wasn't. He went right back. So that's a problem. And that's on him, Fool me once, right? They fooled him once, shame on them. They're fooling him again, shame on him, But I don't, that's really maybe what I can do is start sending him, again, it's one person at a time, right? That's the only way people are going to see it. But I think it needs to be a collective effort. So I don't know. What do you think? Maybe we could all have, okay, I'm going to put this mug. I don't know. Would I get sued? I probably can't use that. But I'm going to put some kind of, in our mug shop, which is coming soon, I'm going to put something with this, faux news. I'll put faux news. That's what I'll do. As long as it's not copyrighted. And then we could all have this mug, and we could send it to all of our friends who watch Fox News and Twitter. That'd be one way. But, would they get it? Would they use it? No, probably not. Okay, so, so the other thing that I was thinking about, this came up the other day in Coffee with Karen, and it had to do with clearing karmic debt. And I was like, oh, we should focus on that. Like, how do we clear our karmic debt individually and from a humanity standpoint? And now that we're reading in the Spirit Circle, we're reading The Golden Future. Great book, Diana Cooper. I'll list it down below if you're not sure. So you can take a look at it. But apparently what she says in the book, and I've mentioned this before, is that Earth is really meant to hold about 2 billion spirits that come down and have the Earth experience, let's just say. And so right now there's 8 billion. So there's 6 billion more on Earth. And apparently because we're moving from this 260,000 year period of the masculine energy being outbalanced. So feminine energy is now moving in because we need a balance. There's been too much, it's been too much masculine energy. And as the whole war thing, and, that's just how it is, And so feminine energy is now moving on Earth for the next 20,000 years, which is why there's this conflict going on. Okay. And right now, I think that's what it's how I understand it, how she explains it. Okay. There's probably a gazillion explanations, but this is what we're focused on this channel right now. So, and that these additional 6 billion souls have come down to Earth to work out their karmic debt that has been created over the last 260,000 years on Earth. So it's a big deal. Okay. So we've got this karmic debt thing. So I think one of the other thing we can do is work out our own karmic debt. Okay. So how do we do that? That's the question. And so what I'm going to do is right after this, I'm going to post it on the channel under posts. It used to be called community, but I'm going to post it under posts. I'm going to do a call out for your questions that we can then ask the SGs. I'll do an SG over the next week or two. Okay. I've got a little backlog. We've got to do part 1 and 2 of life reviews. Like what happens when we pass and we do a life review. We've got 2 episodes of questions that you guys have asked about that. Okay. So I'm going to do those this week. And then next week we'll focus on karma. Although I think we're going to be doing a live soon. I think we might have gotten this issue resolved. So if we do a live, I think the live is going to be on ghosts because we've been talking about doing that one. Like just, spirits that hang out on Earth. You guys are kind of interested, have told us in the past you're interested in that. So, although it does depend on what's going on in the world. Right now, I'm really trying to keep a pulse on what's going on. And that's kind of what we're talking about. So we're flexing here, But I really think one of the things we can all do individually is work out our karmic debt. But I think as a collective, as a village, which I'm loving that term, as a community, I think we need to figure out what is it? How do I know what my karmic debt is? How do I do that? So if anybody has any input for anyone on the channel right now about how to clear your karmic debt, let's talk about that. Okay. Offer what what from your spiritual journey. What have you learned from your guides? There's many people here besides me who talk to their guides and get information, and they're sharing it. And I love it. I love it. So the karmic, I think that's okay, so we've got this practical thing we could do if we could start a movement on literally, and I was going to say this earlier, but we literally need a war on faux news. And I know that sounds bad, using the word war, but that's really what it needs to be. And I know, yesterday I said, well, if you use the word war, then it's not going to be successful. Okay, so we'll change the term. We need to just dismantle. It's no matter what word you use is going to be negative, but we need enlightenment on faux news. There we go. We need to be collectively, we need to be enlightened about faux news. Let's do that. Okay. So I'm going to write that down. I like that. So if you have other ideas, you could put it so we need to be enlightened. Humanity needs to be enlightened about faux news. Again, you use the word fight on, we need to fight cancer. We need to, that's why we never solve it, because we're always fighting it. That's my opinion anyways. So enlightened about faux news. Okay. So if we got that practical thing going on, then what we can do collectively on those on a spiritual journey, or as people are just into this kind of conversation, is work on our karmic debt. Because if we can work, the sooner we work on our karmic debt, the sooner I think society can get moving on on stuff. So yeah, so I'm going to post. So let's just start the conversation. I can only pose the question at this point. I don't even have anything to offer at this point. So I'll post it in the post. Okay. So put your initial questions on and we'll start that conversation. I'll start pulling cards also. Oh my goodness. Did you hear that? Excuse me. Okay. So that's what I have for today. I've got 2 more things. I've got the message. It's not okay. So we're going to have to do a little pledge before I give you this message. And then I have an angel card and we'll pull that. This is the deck that my SGs wanted me to use today. Cosmic Energy. I don't think I've ever used this one. So, again, for those of you who are new, I know every day I have to repeat this and you guys are probably like, stop repeating that. You get new people. If you are new, I do have a playlist called Start Here. I'm going to post it right here. I've started to post the playlist, you guys, the 4 bigger playlists that I have after each video. So you guys can go and explore the playlist and see what's in there. Okay. So I do have my own little card deck with all of my oracle decks on each card. So I ask, I do my little prayer. I ask for what deck they want me to use. And then I double check with the rods. And so it was Cosmic Energy. This is the one that fell out today. So I love doing it. I just love doing that. So yeah, so we'll do a card. Okay. This is the message again. I used my pendulum today. So for them, I said, do you have a message for my audience today? Okay. They spelled out 3 words. And now I've learned to say, don't use acronyms. Because the last couple of days I used acronyms. I'm like, no acronyms. So they spelled out 3 words that made sense. However, first I'm going to ask them if they want me to actually share that with you because, again, it's not a comfortable message. So if you don't want to know what it is, then please click off at this point. Actually, I'll do the angel card reading first in case there are people who don't want to hear the message at the end. Sorry. I just want to be respectful for people who don't want to hear something that might be a little challenging. So, okay. Did you guys really want me to share the message that you gave me earlier today using the pendulum? Yes. Okay. What is the likelihood that what you shared with me is going to happen today? Is it 100% likely? No. Okay. Is it 50% likely? Okay. And so when you say, so the 3rd word was today. Okay. So when you say today, do you mean like, is that kind of soon? Why didn't you just use the word soon then? Okay. All right. Whatever. Questioning them now. All right. So the 3rd word was today. Okay. So let's do a quick angel. I'm just going to do a quick message for those who don't want to stay for the, just in case, I want to respect people's boundaries, let's say, as best I can anyways. So I like these cards. They're nice and they fit my hands and they're slippery. There's nothing sticking together on these cards. All right. I've already said the prayer for today. So, and if anybody's interested in what the prayer is, I always have it listed in the description. Okay. So what message do you guys have for us today regarding anything? Just what do you want? What do you want? Anyone who's watching this now and in the future, what do you want them to walk away with? What do you want them to walk away with today? Including myself. So it's just a message for me and anyone else who is watching this. That what do you think would be? Okay, that was very slippery. What message do you want for us today? Oh, okay. That was one. Let me just double. Oh boy. I saw the word. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Let me just double check. Is this the card that you want us to have? Yes. Oh boy, look at that. Yes. Okay. All right, here it is. I'm going to show you the image first. It's kind of nice. It's pretty. What is that? Looks like the sun growing. Okay. Resilience. Okay, resilience is your source of strength in challenges. Okay, we got it. So they're asking us to be resilient. All right. They're asking us to be resilient. In general, I know what that term means, but I am going to look it up just to have a little conversation about it. What does resilience? Able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. Resilience is the ability to adapt and overcome challenges or bounce back from difficult experiences. Resilience refers to the ability to successfully adapt to stressors, maintaining psychological well-being in the face of adversity. Okay, we are continually being asked to take care of ourselves. Okay, so not a surprise. Resilience. Okay, so focus on that word today. Maybe look it up, put something, if you need to be reminded, if you're doing anything like this, like I am in my bullet journal, then I'm going to add that here, some of the words that I just got here, to remind myself that when I have my angry moments, this is what I go back to. They're kind of my messages. Okay, because I'm working on dissolving. I'm not working on keeping it. I'm working on dissolving it. Okay. Okay. Love it. I got to put that aside over here. So I put it in my journal. Okay. So again, for those of you who are a little concerned about this message, it's time for you to click off. And for the rest of you, hand up, please. I've done this before. I'm counting on you. I want to see your hand up. I promise that regardless of what happens in the timing, that I will not be angry at Karen for sharing this information. Say it out loud. And I know that this is just being shared for my highest good, and I get to use it however I choose. Are you repeating after me? I am responsible for how I take in information. Okay. I mean, it's actually a pretty good message if it actually happens. So I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you that this is the message I got today. That's it. Tyrant down today. That's crazy, right? So yesterday's message, I mean, this is way more fun using this thing, although it takes more time. It takes a lot more time. And I will do it. I mean, if I could figure out now, I got to figure out a way to film that. To me, it's way more fun than these. So, because I'm like direct, it's so direct. So yesterday was ready, protect yourself. That was yesterday, protect yourself. Okay. The day before it was ready, need military. I don't know. Ready, and it also was ready, need to be ready, basically. Need to be ready. Yesterday was ready, protect yourself. And I also got death for DAF. I don't know what that is. And it didn't mean like literal death. It just, But today, I mean, come on. Tyrant down today. I don't know. Again, you took an oath to this channel, to this village. You did. I saw it. Anyone who gets this message, you took an oath. All right. I mean, it actually is quite a positive message, but the problem is that many people get disappointed when something doesn't happen. And so That is not my intention whatsoever. So you have to figure out where the disappointment is coming from for you, you know? So we take all this stuff with a grain of salt, but it's just unbelievable. So feel free, you know, take a picture, you know. Interesting. The fact that they use the word tyrant. I mean, I'm like, and then down, I'm like, and then when they started spelling today, I'm like, don't give me a timeline. I'm like, don't. I should have just stopped after the third or the second word then. But I'm like, don't give me a timeline. Because that's when everybody gets a little effed up in the head about the timeline. But the fact that they just said tyrant down, I'm like, okay, now will it be our tyrant? I don't know. Like, it could be a different tyrant. It could be, I mean, I did ask for a global message, like not just personal messages. So, anyways, let me know what you think. I want to see in your comments, hands up. I want to see it. Anytime somebody comments, I want to see a hand up like this, saying you swore. All right. Have an amazing day. Bye.